think all parents feel this way, like, what did I do before I had a child? Like, what was the purpose of life, really? I mean, it really is such a huge responsibility and such an incredible change in the way you see yourself in the world. I mean, it's a shift it's a decentering. Suddenly the world is not about me anymore. It's about this little person. And so I'm responsible for helping this little being into the world, and yet she has so much already. My daughter has so much going already. It's really my job to see her, to foster that little being. And I can't fully do that until I'm able to really see more clearly what's in the way for me of being really connected, being really relational with her. And so I've done a lot of personal work, I think, inspired by that responsibility and the gravity and the humility of just realizing that, I didn't get a great parenting experience growing up. Like, my parents, they had good intentions, but they had a lot of wounds, and I carry those wounds. My healing work is to really understand that it was really difficult for me growing up, and I wasn't seen a lot, and to really understand that the work that I'm doing now to care for that little person inside my own heart is directly related to how I'm able to show up for my daughter and be there for her.
Don't hold back the hope you have in your heart. You were made to shine bright as you are. Put your hands in the air, feel the change. You are powerful, you can do anything.
I really think that we are all consciously connected. So the work that we're doing individually, even if it's invisible in a way, or even if we feel like maybe it's not affecting the greater consciousness, I believe it is.
Do, 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 do. You and me, we can change the world. Change the world. Do, do, we can change the world. You and me, we can change the world. Change the world. Do, do, we can change the world. You and me, we can change the world.
Thank you for coming and joining us here on our Sunday online service with Unity of Northeast Pennsylvania, Positive Path to Spiritual Living. As always, my name is Richard Pacheco, and I am so humbled and grateful to be here with you this Sunday as we celebrate our mothers here at Mother Day. I hope you enjoyed the Unity video that they placed out for Mother's Day. And we have to have a great service as we move from talking specifically about using the 12 powers in a place of resilience and leaving the place of resistance to a place of putting it into action. As we know, our principle number 5 talks about the not knowing the truth is enough, that we need to live that truth. And that's what the next 2 to 3 lessons will be as we end this series. So hopefully you're here, you have your journals, you have your notebooks, you take notes, you put into practice what you learned this week, as well as take the day to celebrate the mothers to be, mothers in love, of course, mothers and grandmothers, and all of those who may have transitioned, that we hold them in our hearts. So it's a day of celebration for that, but we always want to remember that the days are great, but it's about celebrating it every day. So with that, let's go ahead and enter into our opening prayer. As you feel so moved, go ahead and close your eyes as we take a moment to take a breath in and breathe out as we leave the outer world and enter into that center of ourselves, that Christ center that is always connected to that divine love that's in and around us and flows through everything in this world. We continue to see ourselves as whole because we are part of this universe. We are an integral expression of all that is good. We bring to thought all things that are positive, are prosperous, are abundant, our love, our joy, our peace in this day. We bring into our hearts those who play the role of mother in love, who are our mothers, who are grandmothers, our great grandmothers, and all those that represent that mother love, the divine feminine in our lives. And we celebrate them today. We remember those who have passed on to become the angels and spirits that surround us in this time. We also acknowledge those who are still going through perceived challenges, knowing that they are whole in themselves, and we see them wholly as we know and we speak the truth into them that they are one with all, and that their healing is right there, their joy, their peace inside is right there, and all they need to do is claim it, and we see it being done. And for ourselves, we see that same healing, love, joy, and peace permeating in and through us, and through ourselves we send that energy out telepathically and energetically throughout the world so that others may share in that peace with us. And we know it is because we say it is, and so it is, and we affirm it with an amen. And as always, we will go ahead and enjoy our next song, come back with our announcements, and then we'll have a meditation from Unity and have a great lesson with Lee. So I will see you on the other side.
We are one in the circle of spirit. We are one in the great I am. Gotta open up your heart to hear it. Get still, go within. It's taking time to embrace, not fear it. I'm beginning to understand. I am. Of the same I am, you see. Every one of us a celebration of divine creativity. Take the time to discover your station. Light up and let it be. I am, I am. Like the power of a magic wand, what you're thinking on tends to be. So choose carefully.
Okay, let's go ahead and cover a couple of announcements today. First is next Sunday, we will have the rewards of disciplined spiritual mastery. I think this is a great topic because we now talk about taking everything we've learned, put it into practice, and see the results of that practice. So I definitely encourage you to tune in next week. Again, on May 23rd at 9:45 a.m. to about 2 p.m. we have a community meeting, which is preceded by an in-person service. Again, if you can join us in person for the meeting, please do. If not, then you can watch us online as always. So let's make it a point to either be there or be there online and share the energy as we always do every Sunday. If you're so moved to go ahead and help us continue to build the ministry, please join us in giving at unityofnepa.org. The contribute button's on the top right. If you're using a phone, turn it lengthwise. The button will appear. On our YouTube channel, as always, up on the header is a small P. That is our PayPal link, which allows you to give either by debit, credit, or through your PayPal account. And finally, you can always mail it in, and our office staff will take care of it. Another way is one that excites me is always the Amazon Smile, which allows you to do your normal shopping online, and yet every purchase will give a small amount to the ministry to help continue their growth. So with that being said, let's go over our affirmations for ourselves. As we say, the vision we hold. It is one in oneness we co-create a world inspired by the practice of love, peace, and harmony for all. What is ours to do to serve our community through affirmative prayer, teachings, and service? And finally, what do we believe? There is one power and one presence active in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. And we will go ahead and we will move into a meditation from unity.org for about 10 minutes, and then we will come back with our song and finally our lesson. So I will see you on the other side.
I was a little girl who never spoke her mind. I wouldn't rock the boat, I couldn't cross the line. But every step that I've taken, every pain, every tear has led me to the woman who's standing right here. I got so tired of giving myself away, always looking for someone to tell me I was okay. but I got to the place where I could trust my heart. It was the perfect place for a brand new start. And here I stand in my power. Here I stand in my power. Here I stand in my power. Here I stand. Here I stand. And here I stand in my power. Here I stand in my power. Here I stand in my power. Here I stand. Here I stand. I am a warrior. I am invincible. I am strong as steel, and I am capable, and I am soft as a feather, light and free. And the truth that I know, healing begins with me. So here I stand in my power. Here I stand in my power. Here I stand in my power. Here I stand. 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 And with all that I've been through, there ain't nothing I can't do. And here I stand in my power. Here I stand in my power. Here I stand in my power. Here I stand. 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 Oh, here I stand. Here I stand. Here I stand. Here I stand. And with all that I've been through, there ain't nothing I can't do. Here I stand. I stand.
Hello, Unity, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. It's a pleasure to be here and to share today's lessons. And we're coming to the end of our study of Adventures in Resilience, and it's an application of the 12 powers of man. And today, we've completed going through all 12 of the powers now, and we're kind of in that wrap up and synthesis mode of those 12 powers. And today's topic is passion. And I want you to think about passion as the outcome or application of your synthesis of the 12 powers. Now, we have a mixed relationship with passion, don't we? Specifically with the word or the concept. It evokes feelings of suffering at the same time that it calls to mind engaging in something we highly desire. So I'm kind of a word geek, And I looked into the etymology of the word passion, and I'll bring it up on the screen here. Show it coming from back around the 1200s from the Old French, and it was specifically referring to the sufferings of Jesus Christ on the cross. And we see that kind of evolving in the Latin into suffering or enduring, to undergo or experience, right? That which must be endured. And it was expanded somewhere in the 13th century to apply to martyrs and suffering and pain in general. We find that it starts to morph a little bit in the English to an ailment, disease, or affliction, but also an emotion, a desire, an inclination, a feeling, a desire to sin as an affliction. So I'm afflicted with this desire to sin. Morphing yet again to being an intense, vehement emotion or desire. And then eventually in the 1500s, we find that it is, it's brought to, it would bring in sexual love as well. But mostly its enduring meanings, right, have to do with any kind of lasting emotion, controlling emotion, an emotion that just overpowers us, right? Or an object of great admiration or desire. So we have the references to Jesus suffering. We have references to strong emotions, strong desires, powerful motivations. We have sexual references, and we have enthusiasm and zeal. And I thought that it's pretty fitting, actually, that it lined up on our schedule that this is Mother's Day and we're talking about passion, because I find that, you know, the whole motherhood thing is a very apt metaphor for our mixed use of the word passion, right? Because how does motherhood start? Well, quite often it starts with strong desires, emotions, enthusiasm for some, and for others, a deep urge or soul longing, right, to be a mother. And it's an amazing and miraculous process that begins inside, and transformation takes place on the physical level, body's changing, right? The emotional level, spiritual level, and even in the environment as we prepare for the arrival of a new child in our lives. I also find that suffering is involved too, right? From morning sickness to aches and pains, and then of course to the main event, a powerful motivation to birth the child, and that usually involves suffering. And what sustains this whole process, right, from conception to birth, it's passion. So I got a question for you. What passion is sustaining you today? What are your passions? What motivates you? What both inspires you and carries you through the challenging times of following through with your inspiration? I think it's no secret why the word passion became associated with Jesus' time leading up to the crucifixion, right? Because that was a time where great suffering was involved, right? But he needed this intense dedication, this intense desire to fulfill his mission, right? To move through that whole process of suffering. So it's no wonder that that the word passion is born out of people's recollection of the story of Jesus' life, especially the part leading up to his crucifixion. Now, when it comes to what your passions are, what motivates you, you know, when I ask those questions, It's not a trick question, right? It's instead a prompt to think. And perhaps you might say, I don't know. I don't know what my passions are, right? I've been in that boat a good deal of my life, and that happens when, you know, it happens for a number of reasons, but I'll tell you, it happens for fear, right? We have fear of passion. We have fear of being carried away by those strong emotions, right? I mean, you hear references to crimes of passion. And maybe you've been a person that's been ridiculed for your strong feelings or for your display of your feelings. And so that can put a damper on passion, or at least the outward display of it. And the truth is that vulnerability is necessary in order to admit our passions and to act on our passions, because it opens us up to that ridicule. It opens us up to the possibility that somehow we'll lose control or something like that. The truth is that most of us fear our own power. We fear the exposing of our true self, for fear that it won't match our environment, that it won't match the people that are around us. It won't match the comfortable self-image and lifestyle that we've built for ourselves. We fear exactly what we are, and that is, we are the manifestation of the divine. And that's, I got to pause there, because, you know, that's something that a lot of us have a head knowledge of, right? But like, we're not putting our whole being, our whole experience, our whole understanding into that idea. You are a manifestation, sorry, you are a manifestation of the divine. And so am I. So it's like, okay, Lee, all right, I'm not ready to be the manifestation of the divine today. How about if I'm just a child of God today? Well, that's cool too. But here's what I'm going to tell you. We can't stay a child forever. And children grow up, and what do they become? They become the mature version of the same species as the parent. So let that sink in. Gods and goddesses. I'm often reminded of the inscription over the cave at the Oracle of Delphi, right, which said in Latin, "Know thyself." So it's okay to say, right now, this minute, I don't know myself, because that's the whole point of this process. That's the whole point of this journey, is to get to know our true God self. Manifestations of the divine, children of God that grow up and mature and become. Maybe you say, I don't know what my passions are, but I would counter that, yes, you do. You've just been stuffing it down, telling yourself no. You've been making yourself fit into your environment and mistaking others' passions for your own, or putting their desires and passions ahead of your own. I got news for you. Sacrifice is not one of the 12 powers. We might say to ourselves, it was good for my mother and father, it's good enough for me. Give me that old time religion, right? But that's not the case, right? Because you are a unique manifestation with a unique set of things that you were brought into this world to birth, to bring into play. And the energy that we do that with is passion. What are we bringing into birth, right? Well, it's our God-given desires. Your God-given desires are the key to unlocking passion. Other people's desires will not unlock your passion. Instead, it's going to siphon your energy off and into other people's desires. You ever feel drained? You ever feel like you're supporting everybody and nobody's supporting you? That's because you got to support you, and then everything else organizes around that. Yeah, manifesting the dreams and desires of other people is a siphon to your energy. You have God-given desires inside of you, awaiting your own energy and passion to bring to life. And I'll tell you, the universe responds to passion. It's like turning on a switch. Do you know when you turn on your light switch right there in your house, that creates a demand on the system, right? And then all the electrons start flowing and the electricity shows up. And do you know that demand signal, right? I mean, it's small, but that demand signal goes all the way back to the power plant. Just by you flicking a switch, there is a demand put on the system that goes all the way back to the power plant that says we need this much more energy put into the system so that they can power the lights in their home. So in much the same way, right, we have to put a demand on the system. And if we don't put a demand on the system by turning on the switch, we will continue to be without power. So how do we put a demand on the system? By expressing our desires and then saying, this is what I want and this is what I'm going to move toward. That's putting the demand on the system. And it's energy, right? It's creating this energy. Jesus put it this way, he said, I wish that you were either hot or cold, but because you're not, I'm going to spit you out of my mouth, right? And that's that energy, that's that passion that's saying, hey, I'm putting a demand on the system. This is what we're moving towards. Otherwise, nothing's coming. So what desires in your life are calling out for manifestation? And in this regard, I want you to think of the desire as the thought or longing. And passion is the emotional energy that we put behind it. So how about a practice to make this happen? This is something that you can do anytime, any day, but I would encourage you to have a pen and paper because this is kind of a journaling exercise and it's an exploration. It's the beginning of a conversation with your inner self and a beginning of the conversation about what are your desires and what it's going to take to get them birthed into reality. So set aside some time and be still and quiet. You can put on some meditative music, or even better, go out in a natural setting, go out in nature and just sit and be still, right? That's where we hear the voice of God, the still small voice of God. Everything else, distractions, smoke and mirrors, right? But get still and get centered so that you can hear the voice of spirit moving within you. And then breathe long and deep. And why do we always talk about breathing long and deep, or just breathing in general? It's because breathing is a largely unconscious practice, but it is something that we can control consciously. And what's the magic there? The magic is that breathing is the bridge from the conscious to the unconscious. And so when we practice an unconscious process, breathing in a conscious way, then we're creating this bridge. And each time that we practice that conscious breath, that conscious breathing, we're creating more and more of a bridge to that unconscious. What's hiding in the unconscious there? Why do we want to get over to that land? Because that's where we've repressed our desires. That's where we've pushed down our passions. that's where we've lost our creativity, or not lost it, we've locked it away in the closet and said, this is an old dream. That's a childish whatever, and it doesn't fit in my life or my environment or other people's expectations. So we're in our natural setting, breathing long and deep. Let's start with your desire. What is something that you want to manifest, large or small? Doesn't matter, but write it down, right? Commit it into writing. And then allow yourself to feel passionate about your desire and about having it fulfilled. All right, just like, I feel good about this, and I really want this, and I'm willing to be in the flow, in the position to make this happen. Feel that passion of how great it would look and how great it would feel. And then here's where some writing and thinking is going to be involved. But that's okay, because you're in the zone. You've been doing your breathing. Is to take each of your 12 superpowers: faith, strength, understanding, power, love, imagination, wisdom, will, order, release and elimination, zeal, and life, and really connect to them as superpowers. Then allow Spirit to guide you in the use of each and every superpower to manifest your desire. So you've got it all committed down and written now, contemplated on it. And then every day, I want you to go back and I want you to check in daily with that feeling of passion for that thing that you desire to bring into manifestation. And then review the ways that your superpowers are helping you to manifest it. And I'm telling you, if you keep focusing and concentrating your energies in that way, right, and on your God-given desire, that it will manifest, or something even better to fit with your life. So I hope you found this lesson, this discussion to be helpful. And again, happy Mother's Day to all you amazing mothers and mother figures in people's lives. Much love to you all.
Be the light within your soul, illuminate
So I hope you enjoyed that lesson. I hope you took notes. I hope you take it into practice. I hope you go out and make a difference not only in your life, but in the lives of others who see you and need you to be that source of energy, that source of light for them. And as always, as I said, next week we talk about spiritual discipline and the practice of what we have learned over the last number of weeks. That being said, let us quickly take our gifts in our hand. And as always, let us begin to visualize if you've already given. If not, if you're doing it now, go ahead and write out your amount, whatever you're joyfully giving to the ministry. Let's hold those gifts in our hands, and together let's affirm over them, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Let's take a deep breath in as we send that out, knowing that it's going to do the good and great work that our ministry does and will do coming forth in the upcoming weeks, knowing that we are here to help those find that Christ consciousness within themselves so that we may be of service to this world. And we affirm it and say it is, and so it is, and we let it be. Amen. And we bless our children. As always, bring them to the forefront of your mind, the forefront of your heart, as we say, we love you, we bless you, we honor you, and we see that great big divinity in you. We know you're going on to do great things. So with that being said, I thought that today we'll do something a little bit different. We're going to join in with a Unity video from the Silent Unity prayer services, which will end with a prayer of protection. So with that, as always, I am grateful for you. Hope you hang on for the prayer. And as always, if no one else has told you, I love you and there's nothing you can do about it. And I will see everyone after the prayer and next Sunday.
Retreating for a few moments of focused prayer, we reset mind and heart in the essential truth of our spiritual nature. We anchor our attention in God, the source of all that is life-sustaining. We command the mind to be attentive, nervous system to be still, heart to be open, and spirit to be free. By the unifying power of divine love, we pray in oneness with God. I express the peace and love of my Christ Spirit. I am anchored in peace, secure in knowing that spiritual peace is possible regardless of my circumstances. As I focus on my Christ identity, I am empowered to express divine peace and love in any moment. In silence, I pray into peace. I seek the guidance of Spirit and I move forward confidently. The Spirit of wisdom is a constant stream of guidance I rely upon. As I turn inward to wisdom again and again, I grow in trust of my ever-ready sense of direction. I trust and I proceed in confidence. I attune to wisdom now in prayer. I am renewed in mind, body, and spirit by the healing power of God within. I am anchored in the truth of wholeness, aware of the power of God life within every aspect of my being. I renew in mind as I hold healing thoughts. I renew in body as I bless every cell and structure in my body temple. I renew in spirit as I center myself in silence. I am open to divine ideas and use them to prosper my life. I catch hold of and am inspired by divine ideas with which to live in purpose and passion each day. Anchored in divine abundance, I am poised for possibilities. Gratefully, in oneness with God, I prosper. Gratefully, I now pray. I walk in harmony and acceptance with all beings. I live in divine love, the power to harmonize my life and my relationship with all beings. I walk in harmony, one with the love that God is. In a state of love, I accept, embrace, and celebrate the light of all beings. I pray in silence. Anchored in spiritual peace, wisdom, wholeness, abundance, and harmony, we close this time of prayer in gratitude. We are grateful for our growing realization of God, our source, and for embracing oneness as the truth of being. We close with the prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is.